Hello and welcome to the PM Show, your weekly roundup of what's new and going on at the PM store. How are we doing this morning, gentlemen? We all good?
Fine, thank you very much.
Morning. I'm going to cough.
Oh, right.
I've got a cough brewing.
Going to choke.
Excuse me. Carry on.
That's me when I do my filming. I sneeze and I have to remember where it is where I'm editing to take it out. Otherwise it blows the microphone.
Hey, do you get that as well then?
Yeah.
I always get when we do a live show, I end up having sneezing for some reason. I don't know why.
I know, it's strange.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you're doing it, like you're doing a bit to camera and you feel it building and it's working its way up and it's there and it's there and it's there. And normally I'm on like a head down camera and it's that thing about, right, move my hands off the screen and then let it rip. And then I can then carry on and I just have to edit that bit out. But normally in editing, it's easy to spot because it's like little, like, with the audio file and then suddenly it's like a massive block.
It'd be good if you did it all over your model.
Yeah, that's it. Mind you, I think the worst one's photo etch. You got your little photo etch cut out and then you sneeze and it just takes off across your bench. I think somebody missed the point with this one. They ought to make photo etch in normal sort of, steel. So you can pick it up with a magnet, because then you can just go around your desk and hoover it up with a big magnet, can't you? But, if it's in the brush, can't do that. But, yeah, if you had it as a magnet, it would be better. So, yes, that's my point.
I presume they do it in brass because it's a bit more malleable when you heat it in it.
Yes, definitely. It's softer or easier to do for the electro etching.
Yeah.
But, yes, it would be nice. There's nothing worse when your photo etch suddenly disappears and you're like, Where's it gone?
We've all been there.
And you do that thing, don't you? You like gently move back and look at your lap, and then you sort of stand up, looking to see it fall and shake it, things off, in that hope that actually you'll spot it. Or you got your other worst one, I think, is the bit where you're cutting something and you hear it land, and you're convinced it's there. Yeah. But clearly it's not. It's probably over there. But then you take apart everything trying to find that bit, and then you never find it. And then you clear your bench off 3 years later, and there it is. And you're like, that's the little git.
Or it flies off, it's gone on the floor, and you can't see it, and you move your chair back.
Yeah, and run it over.
And you just run it over.
That's the bit you clear part. Oh, no. There's something to say about chairs on wheels. They're lethal for this thing. So, never mind. All good. I must admit, saying that, I almost hung myself the other day. I had my apron on, but I didn't have it tied around me. I had it just here. So the phone went in there, and I had to dash off. So I pulled back and went, and it run over the thing over there, and then literally pulled me back. And I went a bit more, and it's like, I'm always hanging myself here. I thought I'm going to have to get my knife and cut myself free.
Aprons available at floormodels.com or whatever.
They are, absolutely they are. But yes, it was like one of those ones. It's like, really? Don't do that, kids. Anyway, what's new? Anything happened? Anything come in? Anything exciting? Or are we still jogging along? The sails are flapping in the doldrums. Nothing's going on.
The tumbleweeds.
Yeah, working its way past.
It's very quiet.
Yes.
It's very quiet, as in new kits have been released, and just the hobby in general. It's got that summer vibe. I suppose we could say where it's just gone a bit quiet at the minute. So
we know things are on the way, aren't we? But it's like looking to September, October time.
Hopefully August, perhaps back end of this month. I don't know, but just in general, it's all a bit sort of...
I'll tell you what's scary. Technically, we're now in Q3, quarter 3 of the year. And I'm thinking, Jesus, this year, where's it gone? It's like just straight in. This year's absolutely flying. And I don't understand why, because it's, as I say, after COVID, we've had 2 mega, stupidly busy years non-stop. This is the first year where I would say things are returning to normal properly, and we're seeing the usual patterns and things. But we're here in Q3 already, so it's like crazy, absolutely crazy.
I'd tell you what, though, Daniel Ricciardo will be happy with Q3, wouldn't he?
Well, he would be, yeah. And people say that F1's boring, like you. Yeah. But you say 20 cars going around in circles all day. It's quite,
I'll tell you what, I did actually. I watched it because it was on normal terrestrial TV. You know where I'm paying for it on Sky, and I did actually watch it at the weekend. And that crash was horrendous, to be honest. how he's got out of that is he's a miracle with Reno. Really not really injured, is he? Because that was a bit sort of dramatic. And then
absolutely.
Another one in Formula 3,
Formula 2, Formula 2. He came over and he was literally flying through the air, and the halo stopped him being decapitated. Basically,
I mean when he's skidding on his helmet, basically, you know what I mean? It's just like then flips up and just goes into the bloody barrier. That was
the same happened to Hamilton last year, didn't it? When he parked his car on top of him with his wheel spinning.
Yeah, he tried to drive off on his head.
Wheel spinning on his head. But I mean, that halo's obviously saved his life, and it's a fair play for him. But because everybody's moaning how horrible they look, and it's really driver safety is a bit more.
I think it's saved many lives now. That's the thing. I think it's proven its worth, definitely. Yeah. So,
do you just think though? What was it like? Sterling, Moss, and them lot, no seatbelts, and they were hurtling around the track with nothing. And
they had nothing around them. They just sat up there like this with a massive wheel. It was like just crazy. But then, wasn't it something like 6 people a year on average died anyway? In those days.
It's no wonder. Have you watched some of the footage of the aftermath of when one's come off the track and hit a tree because they had trees around them? And
it's the bit where they went through the crowd as well was horrendous. It just wasn't it one of the Mercs when it disintegrated going through the crowd. So
proper dangerous, wasn't it? So that is. I mean, it's very sanitised. I think we're very safe now, but it's got to be, and you can't have that going off anymore in this day and age. But it's actually I thought it was quite an interesting race, especially because somebody didn't win it. I'm not a fan of, so that was good.
No, it does. It makes it really interesting. It's just a shame as modelers we can't build F1 cars.
Yeah,
because they've sold all the rights to these companies who do these pre-done ones. Yeah. For guys who are probably into F1, you'll know there's certain sites out there you can actually buy like last year's cars as models. And they're about, a foot long. They're usually around about £100, but I've noticed sales must be tough because I keep getting sent things saying they're down on price, 25% off and all the rest of it. So, but yes,
not the same though.
It's not the same. It's nice. Yeah. Funny enough, I'm doing the obviously the reveal video for the last group build from the 70s, and we've got some great cars in there. The old F1s and the Indy cars, and I was doing some of those this morning, putting them in, and as you say, the modelling is amazing. The guy's done a fantastic job, but it's just one of those things. It would be such nice to do modern ones. As far as I know, there's no kit of a Halo car, actually with a Halo system on it, because they stopped doing them. I think wasn't it Ferraris done by Tamiya were the last ones we saw, and then obviously the Red Bulls they did a few years back. So I did the RB6. Which is it's in the other.
I know Fujimi do some of the older Ferraris, don't they? But they haven't done any of the modern ones.
Yeah, because they do some of the Saubers, don't they? We've got one the fight.
I'm honestly surprised because obviously Tamiya's got McLaren and Mercedes.
Yeah,
they don't do any of the F1 cars.
No.
I wonder it must be to do with Formula One licensing, to do with Formula One rather than the manufacturers.
Yeah,
it's going to be in sponsors. Yeah. So I mean, we've been through this loads of times, but it's got to be something to do with that because, like I say, they have got, obviously the rights to Mercedes and McLaren. So why don't they do the F1 cars? But
Formula One themselves are a company in their own right, aren't they? So
exactly. So
it's a shame though, because as I say, it's one of those areas from modelers it would be nice to be able to do it, and as you say, but It's one of those areas.
So if Bill Nicholson's watching, he's got any clout with the new guys.
He's got a lot of clout with Mr. Putin, but we won't go down that one. He'll take a bullet for him. Not many people say that, anyway, or not in that order, shall we say? Right. Anyway, so with that out
he's always been outspoken.
Yes, definitely. But anyway, as you can see over on the other side, new arrivals really hasn't changed. It's got the Sterling. We have got the Sabre Dog back in, which is a beautiful kit. Very nice kit, that is.
That's a monogram kit. Or would that be a Pro Modeler kit?
I think it's the recessed. Pro Modeler kit. Yeah, it's recessed and the bits. It's the later one. So I think that's actually one of the Pro Modeler series as it was originally, going back when we were talking about them. So, because I actually built the Pro Modeler version many, many years ago, so that's how I know that kit. And it's a great kit, that is. Really, really nice.
It's a really nice kit.
That was obviously when then they sort of moved away from pro modeler stuff, wasn't it? And they went into the sort of Hasegawa reboxing because we saw the Corsair, the Harriers, the bits and pieces as well from them, which was a nice touch. So, but no, that is a really nice kit. It's all recessed. So if anyone's thinking about what we've been talking about, like the Black Wonder, be silver later today or aluminium. Yes, that's another gem of a kit from the past, which actually isn't bad at all.
No, we'll re-release that.
Yeah, definitely. Everything's pretty much stale back in there. There's not a great deal happening down in there. Up on the specials, which I know I covered a little bit on Friday, but we've got some nice Hobby Boss stuff down in there. And again, we've got the bell. How do you pronounce that? Is that a Sue?
Yeah.
A Sue, isn't it?
I thought it's the Sue. Just checking. Is it like you lot with X's on your name? Is it like a Mollynox?
Yeah, no, it's named after the native Indian.
Well, they all are, aren't they? It's Apache, Cheyenne.
In it, and
Chinook, which means warm wind.
Native Indian, Native American, sorry, not native.
Yes.
I think different continent.
Yeah. Slightly. But yeah, anyway, lovely Hobby Boss kits as well. You know, as I say, some really nice stuff down in there as well. So that's very nice indeed. And the other bits and pieces you can see down in here. A little bit of the ICM stuff filtering its way through. There we go, talking to McLaren. We've got the Senna. Yeah. So very nice kit as well.
And the Merc next to it.
That Merc is absolutely gorgeous. Every time I go into our dealership, they've got one sat there. And, you know, if only I had the money.
Does it run on electric?
No, it's not quite electric, that one.
Oh, is it a fossil-fueled car?
Yes, it is.
So in the past, that is now.
But yes, very nice indeed. And the other ones, unfortunately, we're out of Airwolves. So
Airwolves have gone.
Yeah, a little bit of a correction as well. We were talking, or I spoke last week, and I have been corrected, thank God, that somebody's actually did. I said about the Black Hawks come with the miniguns. Apparently, it's only the MH60 comes with the miniguns. The Black Hawk one doesn't, which you think it would be in the Night Raider, but
yeah.
I'll tell you what, if you actually want miniguns, live resin.
Do you know what I have got?
They're
somewhere.
Amazing. Their stuff is.
Yeah, I've got a 48 scale miniguns from them, and I bought them at Telford a few years ago, I think it was. And I bought them, and they are absolutely mega. I don't even know where it is now, but yeah, that is absolutely fantastic.
I presume the company's still going. I actually don't. I don't know, but if you can get them live resin stuff, it's just different level stuff. So usual bits and bobs in there. We'll keep it running till the weekend, I think, and then we'll change it out again
on the Friday, so that's okay, no problem at all. And again, the 25% off sale still continues. As I say, I won't bore everyone to death, but you see it every week. But there we go, that's all still going.
Still going.
Have you noticed the new scrolling thing at the top?
The what? Oh, you saw that pop up as well, saying about scrolling text things. I must admit, I saw that the other day. Yes, look.
I thought I'd have a play.
It's very smooth, isn't it? It's very gliding. So it's very good.
It's not. It'll end when everything's gone. So. But...
Yeah. So soonish. Ish.
Salbers.
You can have Salbers. What year are they? Did it say? I can't remember what year those ones were. The
2004.
Oh right. Okay.
I don't know actually. Andy knows because he's an F1 expert.
But they're all the same, don't they? Those age. So.
It's the Sauber Mercedes, isn't it?
It's when the nose was lethal look, and you could stab your opponent.
Yeah.
Through the side, just lance them. So,
yeah.
It doesn't say what year it is, does it?
No, normally they do. But yes.
I think it does in the box or the instructions.
It will do in the instructions.
We've looked before, haven't we? Well, why don't you just Google Sauber C31 or whatever and it'll tell you what year it was. I think it's the early 2000s, I think.
Mm-hmm. So yes, that's another one as well.
Depends who's driving it.
So that was C31 was 2012.
Oh, well, there we go. So it's 10 years old. So that's a newish one if you wanted to go down.
So that's about as modern as it gets now, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
F1 car.
So some very nice stuff down in there. But these ones are all 25% off. And they're all brand new, sealed and all the rest of it. So if you want to grab any of those ones, grab them now.
And hazard a guess and say the C30 was 2011.
Who was the driver?
Yes. Wait for it. I can't remember that far back.
You can't remember Sunday, so you
I
never
can't remember the
that
question I had for you just before we came on air. That's how bad
exactly.
I am.
That's why you got no.
I said to him, "I've got 2 questions for you. First one I remembered, and by the time we got to the second one, I can't remember what it was now." So.
And to be fair to Salva, who?
Kobayashi.
All right.
Yeah.
And Perez.
All right. Well, he's doing all right.
Yeah. He's still racing, isn't he?
Hey?
Got our old Sergio Perez now. Then he must be knocking on.
Well, he's not as old as Alonso, who's now what, 84?
32.
Is it? Blimey. Yeah, right.
So yes.
Yeah. He's come up in the world from the Sauber.
Well, he's doing all right. We like old Checo. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so there's not a great deal, to be honest, happening down in there, but as I say, all usual bits and pieces. We have got some deliveries coming in this week, haven't we, Matt?
We've got an AK delivery coming in, yes, at, hopefully tomorrow or Friday at the latest. That's on its way. Just Restock's a real colour around Gen 3, so they're coming back in. That's mainly what that is.
Yeah.
And then I think we're going to have an attacker order going in because we need to restock with attackers as well. We're running a bit low on them, so we're going to do that. And yeah, just general paints and tools and usual
pieces.
And we had quite a bit of LP in actually that we was out of. So if you're into your LPs, we're still out of LP2, I think, but some of the others have come back and we've been out of for a while. So that's nice as well. And tools as well, like decal scissors were back in, and I don't know, some other bits and bobs. So yeah, just check it out in the tools and the. Like I say, I'm still struggling with rapid thinner and Mr. Surface, the black surfacer. We can't get them, and dark iron as well is another one we're struggling to get in at the minute. So I don't know when they'll be back, but we have got leveling thinners. And
do you want to share your top tip that you were sharing with me yesterday? Well,
yeah, can do. But are we out of that? Should we not be out of that? But we might be. I'll have a look. Yeah, if you've got any of them really, the surface primers. But it's mainly the black one I think people have problems with. I've never had a problem with the grey or the white. Have you?
No. I like I said in the video, to be honest, I talk about it in the video bill for this one. You really need to mix it thoroughly. Yeah, I found if you don't, and you just take off the top bit, the thicker stuff is what dries it out, if it makes sense, on the bottom. If you just skim it off the top, it's sticky and it takes forever to dry. It takes a week to dry. Otherwise it's tacky in your hands. If you thoroughly mix it, if you've got a mixer, stick it in it and give it a good whiz. And then you really have no problems. But I do know people struggle with this being tacky to the touch and quite sticky. Yeah. But you did, go on. I won't say it. You have to tell them.
Well, I've got like a little bit left, and I was using it for a build that I'm doing, and I wanted to just put like a black primer coat on it before I start. So I decanted it into a little mixing cup, and then added a drop of rapid thinner. Not a lot, but a couple of drops of a pipette. Stirred it up and sprayed it, and it seems to have dried quicker than normal. Because in the rapid thinner just is rapid thinner, isn't it?
Yeah,
and it obviously works well with primers. So it just seemed, because they can be tacky for like 24 hours before it properly cures, but this seemed to take it off a lot faster.
So I tried this technique yesterday, and it worked a treat, because I primed up a couple of bits and with it. And yeah, absolutely, it dries a lot quicker, and I had no stickiness at all. Within half hour, it was dry.
But again, thin coats and build it up. Don't lamp it on like thick coats, because it's going to have the same problem. You need to just take your time and nicely build it up. But then you're not going to get that eggshell effect where you're picking it up and you can feel it going under your fingers, where it is still sort of tacky.
So I'll ask the question, because someone's going to. What percentage of lacquer thinners to primer did you do?
Well, yeah, I didn't do any precise measuring, if I'm honest. I just used a pipette and just filled and dropped. Because obviously it's thin already, so you don't want to over thin it, because you're not going to get the build. So I did it in a little sort of Revell little plastic mixing cups that we sell.
And I'm sure Phil did his in the mixing cup, in the colour cup of his airbrush.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
To be honest with you, this stuff is pre-thinned anyway. You just shake it, stick it in your airbrush, and it'll give you a really nice coat. And I would say, if I'm honest about the percentage I put in, it would have been around about 5%.
Yeah, I'm thinking
as I went. It was no
5.
more than that, because this stuff's quite thin anyway. So it's about 5%, I would say.
Yeah, I'm with you with that, about 5% with rough measuring.
Rough measuring, yeah. I did it in the colour cup, so literally I just put a bit in the
because a lot of the time we say 30%, 50%, 70%, and you'll guarantee someone will bang 70% thinners in it and say...
You don't cover, it's gone to water. It's gone just to nothing. No, it is, like I say, just like a 5% drop of rapid thinner in it, and it works pretty well. So I'd say, right, if you've got a proper size colour cup, what size colour cups on your...
they're 5mm, aren't they, I think?
Yeah.
The big ones are 5mm. Yeah.
So, like, say, if that's nearly full, then you like 5%.
If you did that, is that 10mm, is it, the big one? Or...
Oh, right, yeah, that's what I meant, a big one, not a little one.
No, I still think that's about
whatever
5mm.
that is, anyway. If you filled that with your primer, put about 5% worth of rapid thinner in it. You know, I'm saying for measuring, because I always say mix it out, obviously not in your airbrush and outside, but, you know, you can... To be honest, you can do that in the airbrush because it's already pre-thinned. It's not going to clog it, but you know, and you should be all right with it and just give it a go and see what you think.
Yeah. But I must admit, I did it when I did these tails because I forgot to prime them up, you see, to be honest. And I literally was like, I'll give it a whirl. So I spoke to Matt during the afternoon and I did it. And whereas that one, I would say, was tacky for a couple of days, before it was totally, you know, where you can hold it for as long as you like and it doesn't stick. And again, it was one of those where it had a couple of coats on there, to be honest. And then on that one, it was instant and it had no stickiness at all. So it worked an absolute treat. But again, still remember, thoroughly mix these. Because even if you give these a shake, I've got one here. And if I just show here, I don't know how well you can see it. But to my naked eye, I can see it's really thick. And I've already shaken this and it's still sitting down here in the bottom. And even if you really shake it, it's going to take more than that. It's still there. So, you know, it's not one of those where you just give it a quick shake and you're good to go. You need to properly get something in there, get it thoroughly mixed. Because obviously that thick stuff at the bottom dries it. The stuff at the top isn't. That's just basically the bonder and the thinner bit, if you like. So you need to get the good stuff off the bottom, and that's the mix that works. But thin coats, and I do say when I did the voodoo, I show it in the primer, I think that's like this week, you know, actually nice thin coats, let them dry for a bit, come back in. Don't do the old one and done, because otherwise what's going to happen is you're just locking it in and it's never going to dry. It hasn't got that chance to gas off, or if it has, it's going to take days and days to properly go off.
Does it dull the glossness off at all, or is it just not enough in it to...
I can say about that. So this here is my voodoo, who is all done. As you can see, this has got rapid drying thinners into X1.
Oh, right.
So this was dryable, and you see it in the video, because I actually hold the nose. After I've only been 10 minutes, I spray the back end. I do it like this, spray the back end, and then literally I go, okay, and you're good to go. So, you know, and that's it. Rapid drying thinners dries like Tamiya X1 gloss. Within half an hour, you're good to go. I wouldn't spray over it for a day or two, because you want to make sure it's properly gone off, because you don't want it to crack. So that would be the worst case scenario. Is you put something over the top of this, like another gloss coat, then obviously it could crack. And 6 months down the line, as it's properly gassing off, you end up with eggshell all over it. So you want to make sure, and that's why I've left this one off for 24 hours to completely go. And then obviously this is going to have a coat of aluminium later today. So yes.
If that was me, and that was either a Phantom or a F14. I don't think I'd ever get past the black gloss stage. I think I'd be a...
You could do bunny.
Do it for the Greebly Sig.
Well, what you could do is... The US Navy had the Test and Evaluation Squadron, was it VX1 or whatever they are, and it's called Vandy. And they had the Phantom, which was Black Bunny, had the Playboy Bunny on the tail, and then obviously the Tomcat, and they're in black. But again, working with just gloss black everywhere is a really difficult one to pull off and get that scale effect. It looks fantastic. Well? Yes, they did. Yeah, it had the yellow lightning strikes on it, wasn't it, on the tail?
Yeah,
so, wasn't that? The FGR2, wasn't it, with the square tail on the tail plane? But But yeah, they do look really, really nice in gloss black. But it's one of those ones I think sometimes you have to take a little bit of a step back and think, do you know what? I'm not going to weather it. I will take that thing because it's got the decals are obviously in contrast. So they're white, I think it is on the Phantom and on the F14. Yeah. So that's how you help it break it up. But sometimes they're one of those ones where it's really nice just to see a clean model. And speaking of which, and I can't remember who it was, but the great thing about when I do the reveal videos for the SIGs and group builds is I get a really good time to look at all your photos because I have to pick what I think is the best one that shows all the angles best in one photo. And somebody's done an absolutely amazing Puking Dogs 172nd Academy F14. But he's done it gear up. It's unweathered and it's got a panel line wash on it and it is sharp as a tack. It is just gorgeous. It's one of those models you look at it and you think that's perfection because you can't hide anything in the weathering like we all do. Oh, there's a bit there. I'll put a bit of weathering over that. And it is absolutely pin sharp and he's got great photos for it as well. And I'm sorry I can't remember your name, but I'm addled at the moment doing that. And but I did it this morning when I was working on it and it looks absolutely gorgeous. And it just goes to show that weathering isn't everything. You can produce a really nice sharp kit. Go on then, we'll talk. But yeah, it was an absolute gorgeous. I can't remember who it was now, but it's a 72nd scale kit as well. And it was one of those, if you look at it, it'd be really hard to judge the scale as well, even though it's unweathered, because it just looks smart. It could be a 72nd one or a 48 scale one. You just don't know. And it is really, really nice. So congratulations to that person for doing that, because weathering isn't everything at the end of the day.
Like I said, there's been some good builds, hasn't there, in the last group build we did?
Yes, definitely.
Oh.
He's back.
Guess what's turned up?
What's that?
AK.
Oh, there you go.
AK's just turned up.
Good job.
Get it in stock, Andy. Get it in stock. Show's finished.
Is that? Did you put any primer in it?
Got some primer in it. Now we're all right. We've got primer, but we did have. I'm going to check.
Check that one.
Perhaps somebody's bought some because you've told them how good it is with a bit of rapid thinner.
Well,
the only thing we need is a rapid thinner to sell with it.
Yes, unfortunately, we can't get hold of that at the moment, can we? So
if you've got some,
look after it.
Look after it. I wonder how it works with just a normal thinner.
What, a normal lacquer thinner? Don't know.
A normal lacquer thinner. I wonder how it works with that. That's another test, isn't it? Just going to be on test with primers. But I said I've only had a problem with the drying with the black one, not with the grey and the white. I think they've been absolutely fine. It's obviously the pigment or the whatever is in the black that just slows it up a little bit.
I can't say I've had trouble with any of them, but then I think my black one ended up mixing with white to make a grey, so because we run out of grey at the time.
Top tip, that is 2 for 1. You can, buy a black and a white, and you can make grey.
I tell you what, I had a bottle of grey, and I'd had it that long, it had completely separated. And what happens is that the grey's down the bottom right, and the rest of it's all white because that's how it looks. So I had it sat on my shelf thinking that's white. Right, because it wasn't, the label was round the other way, so I wasn't looking at it. I was like, I need a grey primer. I've got a white one, I haven't got a grey one. And then actually it was one of those, I look at it and go, Jesus Christ, I've had this for months sat there. And I'd done the same as Andy. I was like mixing 2 others, a bit of black into the actual grey, into the white to make grey. And there I am with a bottle of brand new, unopened. But because it's separated from a glance across the studio, it looked like it was white to me. So, typical. I did wonder why I bought a white one because I don't use white primer very often.
I'll tell you what, I actually think it's a nice primer. I like it, to be honest. And like Andy says, it's not. Don't get me wrong, it's not a problem with the product as it doesn't dry. Yeah. The problem where people have contacted us with, I think, is because they've not stirred it enough.
Yeah.
But the black one seems to take longer to go off than the white and the grey. I think that's what it is. It does go off and it does go on. It don't stay tacky, forever. It just takes a bit longer than the others.
Yeah, just leave it a couple of days to properly go off, isn't it?
Yeah, but say we drop a rapid thinners in, like say 5% rapid thinners in, it just speeds it up a little bit, and it's good to go. So if you're it's quite a quick model or an impatient like me, it's nice because I can't wait 3 days, 2 days for something to go off. I wonder what rapid thinner works like in extra acrylics. No, extra colour, not acrylics. Extra
I was going to say it'll go to glue. I think
that is the longest drying paint on the planet.
I think we've tried that. Didn't Nathan or somebody actually did try it?
He did. Nathan has tried. We'll ask him tomorrow.
Yeah, I think he did have a go with it. It went off quicker, but it still took a long time. So, Anyway, you get all your bits primers and all your bits pieces. Say they're all down in here as well. And as you just heard, we've got a restock of various stuff coming in. So hopefully we'll be all good to go soon. Right, over to the pre-order section, which I know we haven't got anything up, have we? What about the Hobby Wars 2000 Dragons?
They're coming in.
Which I know, only because I was earwigging your conversation earlier.
They're on the way in. They're on the way in. What was the other thing that's coming out from Hobby 2000? Because I spoke to Gary this morning and I can't remember.
What we're going to pull for pre-order? We've got the Great Wall Hobby SU35s, is it?
No,
well, that's the
29.
other version of it.
29, sorry, SU29.
Oh, that's it, 29s.
They're not up there yet. They will be up sometime before the end of the week. No, they're probably up soon, actually. Yeah, Great Wall Hobbies are releasing their version of the Ghost of Kiev B29 in 48th scale. So obviously we've had the 72nd scale from ITM and when IBG one lands, but this one's going to be 48th one. It's not cheap. Let's get this out there before people know. It's not cheap. There's obviously the pound is absolutely on its knees to the currency from what we use. I presume it's dollars in Japan. And the prices from everything coming out of China, as in kits, are going through the roof.
Yes.
There's no way around it to say it is that it's getting expensive. So what it should have been and what it is quite a big difference, if I'm honest.
He did say you could mention the prices.
And he did say, I've had the permission from Gary, the importer from Tiger, to say it should have been, 65 quid?
65.99.
65.99. With the current situation, it is 85.99. It's coming in at retail. And that's not across. I mean, you would have noticed with Hobby Boss, Meng, all the companies out of the Far East, as in China, this isn't affecting yen or the euro. They're pretty stable and we've got pretty good. But anything out of China at the minute, the prices are going up.
Yes.
And up at the minute. So hopefully that's a blip and it will get back to a bit of normality. Like he said, that's going to be the top. Because they're also doing the F-15, which has got some new weapons in it as well.
Yeah.
Which is the 72nd one, and that should have been how much should it have been? Well, would it have been?
35.99.
35.99, and it's what now?
45.99.
45.99. So, yeah, it's the way of the world, unfortunately. So we seem to go from one crisis to another at the minute with stuff, but we'll put it up, and if anybody wants one, obviously this is not going to be available to buy from the Far East. Same as the SU27, so you're not going to be going off to your usual suspects, on the internet to get it because they're not going to be able to sell it. So it's only going to be able to get from, obviously.
But we'll have them up as pre-order, and we do accept they're expensive. And
if you would like one, then obviously, it's a good kit. Don't get me wrong,
the way the world is at the moment, obviously there is no pressure for doing any of these ones. But if you are interested, put your name down and we'll get in what is required accordingly. So
just remember that if they are expensive kits, put your name down. If you don't want one, let us know in good time.
Yeah.
Because we know that companies get affected by ordering stock for pre-orders and then people don't take them and it can affect.
I like where you go with this, Andy. Carry on, mate. I like
Go on, Andy. I'm liking this. Go on, tell them how it is.
Come on.
Yeah, go on, Andy. Go for it.
With that.
Come on, unleash the beast. Give it to him.
Anyway, so what have we got on pre-order?
Luckily, we haven't got any big pre-orders for stuff that maybe.
We don't. We didn't get suckered into that one.
No, we didn't. Definitely, we dodged the bullet. Definitely with that one.
Moving
on. Right, so anyway, pre-orders, obviously, for members, you can grab all your bits and pieces up there. Like Andy just said, if you do need to pull out, it's not a problem, but tell us as soon as you possibly can, because then that way we don't have to obviously overstock our ordering, and then obviously the importers and that won't overstock their ordering as well, if that makes sense. So it's a bit of a thing for everybody.
I'll tell you what, as well, I know, right, we're not thinking, but that's across the board with other people you deal with as well. It's not just for us. This is a call out to all the trade. It winds me up, if I'm honest. It properly winds me up. But, it's just be sure you definitely want it.
If you've ordered a kit from a supplier and it's multiple hundreds of pounds.
I've got 4 engines.
and then somebody's got to pay for it somewhere along the line, whether or not it's the people you're getting it from or the suppliers into the UK or whatever. Someone's got to, it's got to be.
I do. Looking at what you're on about, I would have pulled out as well.
Anyway,
months ago, I'd have pulled out months ago.
So yeah, we've got the Edward Wildcat up for pre-order.
Yeah, you never know. They might become really cheap, and then I might buy one. If they come cheap because they can't give them away, I might buy them at that point. If they go really cheap, we might have a special go up on the site. Anyway, right. Okay, should we go to questions before we really get into trouble?
Yeah.
And we'll get in trouble in here instead.
I think we've got far too far into that one.
Anyway, Stuart says, hi, Phil, Andy and Matt. I was wondering if there was any, if you have ever used display, scribing, push or hook brooch tools. Have anyone
Yes,
ever
I've got one. I've actually got one. I got one out of, remember that one we got given? And I snapped it from being an idiot trying to take a broken nozzle out of an airbrush.
Yes, yeah.
Really sharp one, the proper carver that was I really liked for rescribing figures because it was just it was amazing.
Yes.
Got a similar item which was a display one because I couldn't seem to find that one we had. Even though I've looked, and you not give me yours that you don't use, so.
That's because mine's still in pristine condition because I look after my tools and I don't try and get things out of.
You know where you just don't think what you're doing. It was one of them.
You used a precision tool to wedge out an old nozzle out of an airbrush, and you wonder why.
I was trying to use it as a screwdriver, to get it in and just loosen it, and then you can spin them out because obviously it was. Like an old Iwata nozzle tip that had just sheared off.
Yes. So, he's talking about this lethal shank with a lethal blade on it and everything else that Display do. That's the tool we're talking about.
That's like a triangle, isn't it? It's got the triangle shape.
Yeah, it's a triangle one, but it's lethal.
Yeah, and I've lost the tip. I haven't lost the rest of it, but the tip's gone, which is obviously the bit I was using for carving. Yeah. Or, rescribing, should I say. If you're rescribing like plastic figures, it was brilliant for it. Mm-hmm. But to be honest, I use the Trumpy one now, and that just, the number 69 one, and that's just as good because that's sharp.
But I did try your airbrushes out apart.
Yeah, I have got something very similar from a display end I managed to get hold of, and it works. It's sharp. So the brooches, the scribing, they're very sharp, like really, really sharp. If you slip or go off, you're gonna just put a massive gouge in it because it's lethally sharp.
Right.
What was the question?
We say if we ever used them and what's the thoughts on it. So I haven't got one, so I can't comment.
I'll show mine tomorrow when we're on because obviously I ain't got it here. It's at home. I'll show one of the brochures because there's different sorts, and I think I've only got one sort because they're not cheap on the display. Let's be honest. No. You pay for them. So I only bought the one I thought was similar to that. If I'm honest. Mm-hmm. I'll show it tomorrow, but it depends what you're doing with.
You can't say live on air that display scribers aren't very good as screwdrivers, are they?
No, and not very good for getting nozzles out of airbrushes and stuff.
My thought was, being tungsten steel and all that would be rock hard.
Oh yeah, but that's the problem.
Yeah, it's obviously not designed as a screwdriver, is it?
No, that's it. Anyway, he says, finally, I was looking for the F22 wrapped kit and saw Hasegawa do a few in 1/48 scale and wondered if you know what these kits are like. Alternatives, would you recommend in either 48 scale or 72nd?
Academy one, in it.
Yeah, well, I'd say I have both. I have the Academy one and I had the Hasegawa one. The Hasegawa one came out about a year after the Academy one back in the day. Would have been over 10 years ago now. They were new tool. And I have to say I prefer the Academy one because it doesn't have stupidly overdone raised ram panels, that zigzag patterns they have on them and all the rest of it. Hasegawa put they're stupidly big right the way over it. So I think that if you look at them in real life, they are nothing like what was shown. So again, I would always go with the Academy one, but the Academy one is quite basic in that there's not a lot of cockpit to it. So I think it was the black box cockpit in mine, if I remember rightly, as well, just to liven it up, really. To be honest, there's not a lot in it because it's modern aircraft. They don't have switches all over them and everything, just has big screens, and that's about it. So, but definitely I think the Academy one, which I think is cheaper than the Hasegawa one as well, is a better looking overall, although it's not as sharp as you like as the Hasegawa one. But for me, I just couldn't get over that raised panels that they put all over them when the reality is they don't really have them. So in 72nd,
well, we had them in last year or year before. They managed to get them in, but I don't know if it's in the catalogue, so you might have to look around to get one. We definitely can't get them in. I know, because if they were, we'd have them, because we have actually got Academy coming in. Actually, we've got some Academy coming in. They've done a midway version of the Catalina in 72nd, which is a nice kit. The F-14's coming back in. There's a few other bits as well that's on its way from Academy. So, unfortunately, not on the F4 Phantoms.
No.
But some other interesting stuff.
Nice.
So yeah, but not the Raptor.
In 72nd for the Raptor, I think the only thing in 72nd that's nice is maybe the Revell one. Haven't built it, but
yeah, I don't know about that, to be honest. I don't even know who does one.
Yeah, I think Revell do one.
As a guy would do one. I would have thought so, wouldn't they?
Probably. But yeah.
What's Academy's? Is that an F-35 or is that an F-22? Because that Academy little, I think it's an F-35, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's the F-35 they did, wasn't it?
I think so. I'm sure. I think they did do an F-22, but again, whether you can get it or not, I don't know. It's not an aircraft I know much about, or sort of
Academy, Rebel.
It's Leary,
won't it?
But it's Leary's done one. What you on scale, mate?
I was looking at Google just generally.
Yeah, right.
So is it the Rebel one then?
Well, I don't know. Is it not theirs?
Is it not?
Is it theirs? Is it?
I don't know. I thought it was, but I could be wrong. I've only seen that kit donkeys years ago. I haven't seen it probably in the last so many years. But
because nobody's done like a new version of it, have they?
No.
Rebels is their own, but 2007 it's.
Yeah, it's old. I know they're both old.
I say that the aircraft's old now, isn't it?
According to this, Hasegawa one is a Rebel one as well.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, right, okay. So you got the Revell one by the sound of it. That's probably, to be fair as well, Revell, not thingy, but that would have been an all right kit.
Yeah.
That would have been probably a nice kit. So, yes.
Nice. Okay, so go with Revell one if you're going 72nd. 48th, I have to say, I think the Academy one I have.
Yeah.
Dominic says, good morning, gentlemen. I'm curious to know, has there been any movement in the shipping costs to the US? Still probably high. You guys are a great one-stop shop, and I'm looking forward to being able to order from you again.
Dominic has actually messaged me. I've not replied to him yet. He messaged me a few days ago, probably the same, I don't know, before that. It's still stupid prices, though, isn't it? It is ridiculous. We priced up one for someone last week for a 72nd scale kit. And you're looking at £50.
Yeah.
It's just not viable for doing it.
That's what goes to the key, isn't it? For like £18 kit or whatever it was, and it's just like
I know it's
you pay 3 times the price for just sending a kit over.
Like I always say, I know it's great that obviously people want to support us and be loyal to us and everything else like that, but honestly, it's not worth it. Buy local,
I was about to say, you must
your local shop if you can.
Shops and things over in the US where you can get stuff from that we sell. To be honest, it's
because honestly,
save yourself some postage.
From our way, it's not only the postage. There's a lot of time as well with customs forms, and obviously the paperwork that has to go with it as well these days. It's not like we used to stick an airmail sticker on it and say it's a plastic kit on a label on the back, and off it went. Nowadays, we have to fill in all these bloody forms and paperwork, and it's a pain in the arse as well, to be honest. And I say, but it's lovely everybody wants to support us, but honestly, if you can, support your local shop. From that point of view, obviously through your US suppliers as normal, or anywhere in the world, come to that matter.
Yeah.
So for not getting back to you, Dominic, but I did see it, but it was the weekend when I saw it, and
we're
not
off.
allowed weekends off.
Yeah, then it was 4th of July weekend.
It
We were
was.
celebrating.
Oh yeah, it was, wasn't it?
It was.
It was.
4th of July. What were they celebrating? 4th of July. What's that?
Getting rid of us.
Yeah, kicking us out. Anyway, to be honest, if you've seen our political state at the moment, we're doing the same as well. That was interesting watching the news last night. And literally, they're all scrabbling with bits of paper as they're going on air because half the government's walked out. Anyway,
it's falling to bits, isn't it?
It is literally. It's a case of right, last one out, turn the lights off, and Boris will be sat there in the dark at this rate.
Teflon will be all right though.
Yeah, this is it. It'd be all right. It's going to lower all the taxes to everything, so we'll forget.
Yeah,
that's it. It'll just make taxes non-existent, so we'll all forget how bad he is. Anyway, Christopher says, "Good afternoon, chaps. I'm considering building a 72nd scale Swiss F-18 Hornet to add to his Swiss collection. I've seen the Italeri do one with Swiss markings. Is this one good? Or should I buy a different one?" No, it's very
Don't
old.
go near. If you want one, go for the Academy one.
Yeah. The Academy one, they do the old legacy type and they do the newer ones as well. So yeah, the Academy one is where you want to go every time. That one I think is maybe an old Esky job.
It probably is actually, and I'm not knocking that because I'm building the old Esky F-16 and it's very basic but very enjoyable. But really, I think it was just because we were going on a nostalgia trip that I had to purchase one and build it just to see if it was as you can remember it.
Yeah.
But no, if you're going to build an F-18, the only other one I think is because they've got early ones, haven't they, the Swiss? They have got legacy ones. Is probably as a Gowers one, but that's very pricey now for what it is, and I don't think it's actually a great kit. No, if I'm honest, I built it.
The Academy one is where you want to go. That's great, the nicest out of them all.
I don't know what it is with that as a Gow one. It's not the normal. Oh God, door. Sorry.
I'm not editing this out. You can walk on.
I'm just Googling F-18.
It's because they fly
decals.
Yeah. Oh, you can get decals for them. Trust me. For all those Hornets I did, it's a very well represented aircraft, shall we say, in the decal community. Everyone's done decals for it.
But it would be an A, wouldn't it?
That's another delivery.
Oh, right. Yeah, I think they're
boxes. My boxes have turned up. I've been waiting for a week.
Oh, that's all right.
I think that's it now. I don't think anything else is coming. We might get the show by midday.
So, yeah, it's the A+, I think they flew. They might have even had the C now. I'm not sure which ones they're up to now. To be honest,
I don't know where they're at. But anyway, probably the Academy kit's the one you want.
Yeah, definitely. Right, okay. Paul says, "Hi guys, getting back into the hobby, and I've only done aircraft so far. Sometime in the future, he'd like to build the Alvis Stewart, as he drove one many years ago for a tank driving experience day, along with an APC and a Chieftain tank. Do you know what, Paul? You probably went to the same place I did for my 40th birthday, which was 10 years ago, almost. So it was like, and that was the same thing. They were the same three I threw. So I bet you've been to the same place. So anyway, it says, the only model I can find is the resin kit from Accurate Armour. Do you know of any other kits?
No, that's it.
No, that's the only one.
135th, that's it. Thingy do one. Ace do some of them in 72nd. But in 35th, it is literally the Accurate Miniatures one. That's it.
Who do the bigger one?
That's the other. That's them Kits World.
Kits World.
But that's 124th. But again, that's a resin kit. There's no injection moulding of it.
Stalwart, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Stalwart. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the amphibious.
Yeah.
Thing, truck thing.
Yes. Shame really, because it's a right cool looking bit sort of, what's it called, isn't it? The banana splits little 6-wheel buggy thing, isn't it? It's a version of it, but do you know what I mean? It's that kind of, I like it. It's very, very British for some reason.
I did one of those days, it's like one of those driving tank things, and it was that, and it was the Abbott, drove the Abbott self-propelled artillery.
Oh, yeah.
And again, it was like a 432 type thing, and then last of the day was the Chieftain. So getting me into a Chieftain tank, not easy. It looked like a giraffe trying to be born when I came out.
You're like 6'5", so you're not built for driving a tank.
Definitely not. That's one place you definitely wouldn't want to be. It was all right in all the others, but the Chieftain was like proper, I
think I'd need Vaseline to get in.
Lots of talc. So yes, that was a day. Anyway, Peter says, hi gents, I trust you're all well and are improving. Well, we're doing all right. Next up for surgery is Matt, so we'll all be good for that one. We're working our way through.
Hey, it's a procedure.
A procedure he's in for, that's it. Snapped with the gloves. Anyway, yes, as I said to Matt yesterday, between all of us, we're getting our money's worth out of all the money we've put into the NHS all over these years. So we're just cashing it in now and getting our money back, so it's fine. Anyway, a few weeks ago, he said that he asked about the expected arrival date for the Zucamori BF109 G14 Hartmann kits. And Matt said he was going to check with the UK distributor for an update. Do we know any more news about when these are expected to land? Well, funny enough, hot off the press, not 2 minutes before we went on air, Matt spoke to said stockist or supplier.
I did.
And he said...
September.
Yes.
Probably end of, might be middle of, but... September they will be here
in the country. Yeah.
Yes.
So good job with that one. That's coming on nicely.
You've got a bit of time yet before you get one, but what we do like a couple of months in it really. It's only 2 months. So
I was going to say it's only 2 months away. So yes.
That'll fly by.
Definitely. Okay, Nick says, hi guys, I'm not sure if this is a Wednesday or Thursday discussion. I've read that Airfix will be actually manufacturing the 24th scale Spitfire in the UK. I want to get your thoughts on the team about bringing, obviously, their manufacturing back to the UK. Wouldn't that be great for the industry and hopefully keep prices and delivery dates more accurate by removing the associated costs and troubles that they have from shipping from the Far East?
Well, as I've just mentioned earlier about the cost of stuff out of China, because we know the tooled in China and then they've gone over to India to be manufactured and then they come back. Well, with the logistics system as it has been and obviously the cost, it does make sense to bring it nearer to home, even if it goes to Europe somewhere. But obviously, I don't know how that would think. We're dealing now with the EU now. We're not in the EU again. But if they're bringing it back to the UK, they have manufactured kits before in the UK because we're talking, Andy built the P40.
Yeah,
we used to have a little... Made in the UK now, ICM now has got made in Ukraine. They did, and I think there's one of the Stukas or something else. There's a few kits. There weren't many, but
but Stuka wanted,
it was always in nice styrene as well. It was that different styrene to what was coming out of India at the time, I think. I don't know what's been manufactured where and whether they have brought it back or if it's certain kits again or the logistically, to me, and sensible business option with what the costs of stuff would be to bring it closer to home. Because I can't see how they're saving any money anymore. I can't see how it's any cheaper now to have something tooled in one country, then ship the tool into a different country to have it manufactured, and then ship all the way back here to be distributed. It doesn't quite make logistical sense to me, but then I don't know about these things, if I'm honest. So we might find out, hey,
we might do.
Flora, Mr. Molyneux.
Yes.
You never know.
We might be able to give you some more information soon on this one. But anyway, it's as I say, it's an interesting thing. And we have seen, obviously, we spoke about it, Revell seem to have moved their tooling for some of their kits at least next door to Poland.
Which again, is logistically makes sense because you've got just to put it in a lorry and drive it over the border into Germany and then it's distributed. It's... Again, I think that sort of let's go over to the Far East to have things manufactured is going because of it's not cheaper anymore to do it.
No, absolutely.
I think, especially hobby stuff, shall we say.
And again, hopefully as well, is that if they are doing it in the UK, some of the little problems, and let's face it, just being honest here, Airfix do have quite a reputation, especially sending me kits that are got short shots. There's problems. We've had various issues with the kits over the years, and some of that must be to do with the distance. When you're dealing across with a company from the other side of the world, and the first thing you know out there's a problem is when they've arrived back to you. It's horrendous. But at least if it's been manufactured in the UK, somebody can be there, see the quality control, keep an eye on it. It's good. And if it is a problem, it's only got to go on a van trip or a truck trip.
Well, again,
couple of hours.
Even in development, it's got to be better, because, like you say, if there's a problem, you've got a delay from, obviously, home headquarters, shall we say, to said company who's tooling it, wherever they are, and then it comes backwards and forwards, and they're checking this, that, and other. Well, like you said, they could probably somebody could hop in a car, and if it's done in the UK, and drive to where it's been done, and go, that's fine, check it off, or no, that needs redoing, and you've not got that time delay. So hopefully then it will speed up the process of actually kits coming out on time, because obviously, as we know, there's time slots in manufacturing.
Yeah.
You miss that time slot.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Job done, innit? You've got to wait then for the next opportunity, because obviously these manufacturers who are doing it don't just do model kits. They're injection molding anything and everything, and you've got your slots there. And if you miss it for whatever reason, you've delayed your kit, which is always a risk when you sort of chuck your stuff out there and go, right, we're going to have this in fourth quarter, third quarter, second quarter. It don't take a lot for that then to be delayed. You've missed your production slot, and it's rolled into, and it has happened with Airfix, and it's happened with all companies. So, then it should actually cut that down a bit.
Yeah.
Well, no.
But we know the Sea Vixen was not bought out, was it, last year, this year?
That was COVID.
Because it missed its slot, so.
Yeah. Anyway,
well, there's been some others that were supposed to have come out, and then they haven't, quite a few, to be honest, have missed the slots because of, well, a lot of it was COVID related, and that's fair enough. You can't sort of, but
But hopefully, as I say, we something might be going on. So don't give too much away at the moment, but we'll get back to you on some information on that, hopefully in the very near future. Okay, so David says, hello, any news on the pre-orders for the Great Wall Hobbies Ukrainian Flanker, the Hobby 2000 Drakens?
Yeah, the Drakens are doing probably next week.
Yeah.
They're on their way, along with the Hurricanes as well. That was the thing I couldn't remember, the Hurricanes.
All right, yeah.
Because we had a pre-order up for that. So the Drakens are on the way, the Hurricanes are on the way. The Hobby 2000 stuff's going to be, again, I've got a feeling it's going to be August, September.
Great Wall Hobby, you mean?
Great Wall Hobby, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
You know what I meant.
Okay, last up then. Gavin says, hi lads, I like the look of the Gen 3 acrylics in the PM store. May I ask to give me on the heads up what colours are suitable for the SU-33 Sea Flanker? So there's a problem here.
They don't do modern Russian colours.
No. You get it in real colours.
Yeah, up to the 70s, Soviet, but not Russian.
Yeah. But again, we just had a look before we came on air, and I think your only option really is 238, 239 and 240 for those colours, which are sort of known as light blue, air superiority blue and light sky blue for those. But again, I think they're flanker colours over sea flanker colours, and that's just with the real colour range, and I can't see any others. So from real colours point of view, I think it's a little bit of a... Now, can everybody remember what colours they used on their sea flanker when we built them about 5 years ago?
Blue,
and dark blue.
To be honest, I built an SU-27, so I don't know what a sea flanker colour is.
Right, I did a sea flanker. I know Andy did a sea flanker.
To be fair, if you...
Attacker.
You'd have to do some experimenting and sort of research, but I bet you if you look through their colours, you probably will be able to match the colours they should be.
Yes.
Because, I mean, they do like a AMT7 light blue, which is a fairly darkish blue, and then they do like...
eggplant.
Yeah, they do World War I German light blue, which is a very light blue. RM76 is probably a bit greeny, isn't it? RF is all blue, is probably too purple.
I reckon you're better off with aggressor colours, aren't you? Really, the aggressor colours are, like you've said, is probably similar.
Yeah.
What are you looking at? Sorry, I'm talking to Phil. What do you keep looking at?
I'm looking at my flanker because I've got one down in my stash.
Oh, right, okay.
And I'm just wondering if it's who's done the thing for it, because I've got the old kinetic one. So
I wouldn't be surprised if you could actually make up the right colours out of, especially by the time you weathered it and done some post shading, pre shading, everything, whatever shading, you'd probably get the right colours, but they don't do a direct.
No. Again, as far as we're aware, they are planning on releasing more colours, and they're working their way sort of methodically through the ranges. So at some point, I think we will see more modern Gen 3 colours coming out as well. Because as far as I'm aware, they're going to be mirroring somewhat what the real colours are, aren't they? So I think it's just like real colours did to start with. It was a little bit limited, and then obviously they did a second wave of it, if you like, when they came out. And I imagine they'll be adding to their range like most manufacturers do over time. So if I remember rightly, thinking back on my one, I used MRP lacquers because they've got all the colours for it.
Yeah, and I know Attacker do them as well. They do the colours for modern flankers. Sell quite a few of them. But again, if you're going the acrylic route, I suppose the other company that probably does it would be Model A. Do they do them, or do they not do modern Russian now?
Do you know what? I'm so far out of.
I don't know either.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah, I must admit I'm a long way out of Model Air these days. I haven't gone through it for a while, but
no. Just I'm just saying because obviously I'm thinking the acrylic route and
well, that's what I'm thinking as well with the acrylics. But
I know. Obviously, Attacker do if you're going down the red line, I think they do a modern flanker set. They do two versions, and one of them is the C flanker on the box. So you could go down the Attacker route if you wanted.
See, the only other one as well, saying about MRP, their acrylic range, but again, I'm a little bit out of date with what they do and have and things like that. I don't know, because they do a lot of Russian colours, clearly. I don't know if their acrylic range might cross over into it as well. So that might be an option if you want to keep with the acrylics. So,
yeah.
Interesting. If we come up with any more, we'll get back to you, Gav, on tomorrow night's show. So
yes,
I can't even remember what I painted mine in. What paints are you?
Sorry, that'd be the
front
post.
Door's
Wait for it.
Who is it?
It's the post.
Oh,
it's all right. We're okay. I'm waiting for the doorbell to go ding, 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 and then the dogs all kick off. If we go again.
Are you on your own today?
No, the other half's off to work. She's teaching today, so she's off to work in about 20 minutes. So,
okay.
So yes, cool.
Fair enough.
Right, that's it for questions. We're all done. So does that make us done today then? Long show, look.
Done today, aren't we? I think we've more than done enough damage today.
That's it. We've ruined everything for another week. That's it. The show goes out 20 minutes later. All the emails start floating in. Anyway, right. We will be back with you tomorrow night live, obviously for members. So if you've got any questions, things like that, please post them up into the Thursday night question show. And obviously we'll see you on the live chat as well during the show if you've got any things for that, bits and pieces. I'll be back with you on Friday for a catch-up show, and then hopefully the paintwork will be done-ish on the actual Voodoo. So that one will be all sorted out. The next part of the Voodoo build will be up, as well as hopefully, as long as I get my bottom in gear and get it all done, the reveal video for the finished group build that finished a couple of weeks ago will be up, and me and the guys have got to have a chinwag about the 3 winners from the build thread sections as well. So we'll pick out those as well when we speak and sort that out too.
Only finished a week ago, so you're not that bad.
No.
Anyway, you can't put anything up until I've actually got this part I need to finish my car off that I've ruined.
Oh, right. Do you know what?
Then I'll send photos over, then you can put it up.
Okay, because I've done Nathan's. I did his Matador earlier this morning when I was working on it. So I was wondering where the rest of the team's build entries are for it.
Yes, I'm just waiting for a part to repair something.
Mine's here, but I never did a group build. I never did a build on it. So.
Oh, that's it. Fine.
I took most of the photos, and then when I finished off at the weekend, I never took any more photos of it.
Oh, all right then.
Yeah. Take still shot.
I'll take a still. Hold on, stay there. Look, I can do it here. Still. There you go. Got one. It'll be all of us, though. So yes. Anyway, that's it for us today. Remember, you get all your bits and pieces over at the pmmodelsuk.com store. So if you've got anything like that, if you've got any questions, anything you need to know, either use to contact me, or obviously if you're a member, you can get hold of Andy as well through the forum. Speak to him directly if you want to get through that way. So again, if you need anything, bits and pieces, give us a shout. We can see if we can get it in for you, even if we don't stock it in the store. So yes, yep. Good job. Right, okay then, guys, we will leave it right there. Happy modelling. Take care. We see you all again next week. Say goodbye, gentlemen. We're out of here.
Bye.
Bye.